Terran from KT. Immediately one thinks of Flash. But, who else do they have? Mind? They have Mind. They have Barracks. Oh, it is Mind, okay. I was kind of hoping it was Barracks, actually. I like that guy. Seems kind of dopey. But like in a good way. Like in a Seven Dwarfs kind of way, you know what I mean? Like a cute kind of dopey. Oh wait. Mind apparently hasn't played many games this season. He was actually played quite a bit last season. In a lot of deciding game 5s in fact, and he lost most of them. It's quite sad. Because he kept getting TBT too, which is the worst matchup. So, presumably, Skyhigh will crush him. Because Skyhigh has been owning up the Brood War games this season. Not doing so hot in StarCraft 2, but owning up the Brood War. And Mind, I think, was, what, 0-1, and that's it. So, not so good for him. Alright, so the Mirror Matchup Pro League continues. In the bottom right, as the teal Terran, we have Skyhigh. And in the top right, as the orange Terran, we do have Mind. KD Roster. You know, one of my favorite casts of callers besides Hoja versus Bako was Skyhigh versus Zergbong. Yeah. I mean really, these Korean pro gamers just making it way too easy. Bako versus Hoja, Skyhigh versus Zergbong. It's too easy, man. Too easy. I'm not even going to make any of the bad puns. I'll just leave it to your imagination. Wait, is that a real blink?
박성균 선수가 이번 시즌 출전이 굉장히 적었고 이제 그로 인해서 경기 감각도 많이 떨어져 있을 것이거든요. 김정우 선수가 앞서서 이제 인터뷰에서 말했듯이 이야, 해석이 좋다.
Okay, so sorry about that. I have now finished consuming my delicious soft-boiled eggs. Let me actually look at what's going on in this game. Nothing particularly interesting, it looks like. Except for those white guys. They're pretty interesting. Is that Caucasian Asian? Am I crazy? That guy on the right looked a little bit like CA. I was thinking, I was like, where the hell do I recognize that guy from? And I suddenly realized he's the guy who was like wearing short shorts and dancing K-pop in the video that Hazley Nut posted. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm pretty sure that was Caucasian Asian. Somebody linked that video, by the way. That was a sick video. Also, I think it requires linking in order to make me look less weird. Anyway, it looks like Skyhigh now going to see this 1-Rex expand from his opponent, whereas he has just gone for the standard factory opening. It's probably for the clock position in the overlay. That'd be quite helpful.
일단 앞마당에
Nice.
이 SCB가 잡히는 것부터 이런 사고를 막아야 됩니다. 괜히 하나 잡히게 될 때부터 이게 자신감이 줄 수 있기 때문에
Alright, sweet.
시작 좋아야죠. 좋습니다.
So, dodge him, dodge him. Nice.
해야 됩니다. 이 선수가 컨디션 좋은 날은 그냥 벌처로도 경기 끝내는 선수예요. 그렇죠. 그렇기 때문에 초중반에 뭔가 이제 상대방의 러시를 확실하게 틀어 막아야 돼요.
I'm not really sure why he's trying to poke back already. I mean, you saw what the build was. It looks like he's going back with one Marine. There's 2 Marines already out. for Mind. And I mean, you know, he should know from the timing of the command center that was a 1-Rex expand, like not a 14cc or anything silly. So like there's no real point to try and poke this too hard. And yeah, it looks like he's just an expand behind, straight off the factory. Not even getting a machine shop first. Actually, I guess you wouldn't. You'd get the Vulture first. Yep, and there we go. So it's getting a CV from Mind gets taken down. But again, Mind also sees the command center timing, so he actually knows. You know, he's like, oh, okay, that command center is a little bit slower than mine. It's probably one fact into expand, and now we do have the machine shop being added on just after the first Vulture has been produced. So that first Vulture, of course, allows you to easily deny SCV scouts and the like, and potentially poke around a little bit if you want, but it looks like there's a good wall at the front of Mind's base here. Mind checking the inside of his main there, actually. I'm not sure what he was looking for. That's interesting. What could possibly be there? I'm not sure. Maybe a hidden SCV or something? I don't know. Doesn't really make sense. But he's going 3 factory as a follow-up. So presumably going for that super Vulture heavy mid-game. That massive Vulture style. Otherwise usually you can just get 2 facts. With machine shops. And then get a starport and all that good jazz, if you so desire. Meanwhile, we do see just a second factory being added on for Skyhigh. And actually, is it just me or is this audio a little bit quiet? No, it looks like the bounces can't explode, so I just can't hear it. So, we have Spider Mines now being laid around by Skyhigh. But but look at this, since Mind is going for mass Vultures of his own, he doesn't really care about these Spider Mines. Because Vultures actually don't trigger opposing Spider Mines. There's like 3... Okay, so Vultures don't trigger Spider Mines, Archons don't trigger Spider Mines. I think I'm forgetting one, but obviously since I forgot, I don't know what it is. No, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's just Vultures and Archons don't trigger Spider Mines. Maybe I'll think of something else. I mean, I guess Workers as well, but that doesn't really count. So we do have the mass Vultures running out now. Even though those Spider Mines weren't triggered, they at least gave some vision to what's his face, to Skyhigh. So he saw the Vultures moving out, and he's kind of semi-walling himself in with that depot as well. But this could be a little bit scary. Vulture speed has finished now. Looks like Mind got speed before Mines even. Now getting those Spider Mines from that machine shop, and actually already adding on a second machine shop. So Mind is actually not going to stay on this mass Vulture stall for very long, which is very interesting. That he's switching out of it so quickly. Meanwhile, it looks like using some Marines for mine clearing here. Poor sacrificial Marines. Doing their job nicely though, getting rid of those mines at the front. The thing is, once you get to the mid and late game TVT, Marines become essentially useless. They're actually just not even as good as SCVs in terms of like combat ability, because SCVs in fact just with their additional HP are so much better just running in and tanking shots. So basically, after you're safe from the early game, you just suicide your Marines to clear some Spider Mines, and that's completely fine. So it's completely good. So now it looks like Spider Mines have finished. So Mind's just gonna lay a bunch of them around defensively. He can probably lay them on that ridge, on Skyhigh's ridge. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that he's laying them so far back. I mean, look at this. He didn't even lay one at the 6 o'clock to like block an expansion, which seems a little bit silly to me. Just send one random Vulture down there. But oh well. Okay, now it looks like the army's moving out, so now obviously, yeah, he couldn't lay them on the ridge, but I thought before the army was a little bit further back than natural. Scouting barracks also going to get pushed back a bit, and Mind's just going to kind of hold on to this high ground ridge. He does have 3 tanks of his own against the 3 tanks of Skyhigh, and look at this, getting the first volley off, managing to snipe one of Skyhigh's siege tanks. Those Goliaths, though, will do a good amount of damage to all those units. They're pretty good. They're very good against Vultures, and still pretty decent against siege tanks. But it looks like he's not going to try and press the issue. He doesn't want to move up onto that high ground. Of course, there is the danger of the Spider Mines as well. And siege mode has now finished, so now it's going to be pretty tough to break that. However, he is kind of holding position a little bit far forward, so he's not getting himself contained, which is the important thing. Giving himself some breathing room. I find both players at actually 75 supply, roundabouts. So neither player with a good advantage here. But the thing is, positionally, it looks like Mind is actually taking a better position. He's taking this center ridge between them. He's got Vultures kind of sneaking around the left side now to lay some mines and whatnot. And oh, we might have a bit of a Vulture engagement. Looks like Mind actually just going to retreat here. I felt like he had enough Vultures to engage, but perhaps didn't quite realize that. So just pulled back instinctively, and oh, he actually does have sea tanks back there as well, so maybe trying to draw Skyhigh's Vultures back into those tanks. And it looks like the starport is now down for Skyhigh, getting that add-on. Going to start doing some drop play, very standard. Looks like both players are doing the very standard. Well, Skyhigh's doing the very standard Goliath tank composition with a few Vultures being produced to dump your minerals. Whereas, since Mind went for the earlier Vulture play, he seems to be sticking on a more Vulture-heavy composition, so going Vulture tank with not as many Goliaths, which is interesting. It's generally safe, since, as we can see, there's no Wraith transition or anything, and he can easily make a round of Goliaths if he needs to. But it's just going to be a slightly beefier composition for Skyhigh. And the Vultures continue to run around here, clear out their opponent's spider mines. But oh, look at this! Mind actually, or Skyhigh rather, does actually have quite a few Vultures, even though he added on the Goliaths. Actually, it looks like he didn't actually continue Goliath production. That's what's going on here. I was a little bit confused how he has so many Vultures there. Looks like after those initial 4 Goliaths that he moved out with, he's actually just been spamming Vultures as well to kind of keep pace with Mind's Vulture count. It's an interesting decision here. Probably a good one as well, because on a map like this, on Sniper Ridge, with so many of these ridges all over the place, go figure, laying spider mines on them and having tank positions there is just so beneficial. So having that nice mobile force of the Vultures running around and laying mines is quite nice. Hey, it looks like a Vulture drop is going to get spotted here. And oh, look at that! Just going to lay the mines there first. It's not going to be a big deal. Scan will take that down easy. And oh, we have a Wraith out to take down the dropship. Looks like, oh man, was not paying attention though. Didn't have it on A move, just was right-clicking to try and anticipate the path that the dropship would take. But he's going to get it anyway, it looks like. But he might lose the Wraith in return. Not quite, because Goliath range is not finished. I think if Goliath range was actually finished, he probably could have killed that Wraith. But that's not the biggest deal in the world. So both players essentially getting the third bases up now. Skyhigh is already mining mines. Should get going in just a second here. And we're still in very even supply. And actually, positionally, I mean, if you look at the map, Mind is holding that middle ridge between their bases, but he kind of needs to hold that ridge, obviously, because he wants to take the 3 o'clock base. But hold that thought, we have a counter drop here into the main base of Skyhigh. Skyhigh looks like he doesn't have units in position, did not have enough spotting there. Although, of course, it's obviously very difficult now. They're very close by air, but there we go. The Vulture's going into the main base. Not able to kill that many SCVs, actually, it looks like. With those units being pulled back, a nice little SCV drill there from Skyhigh. And yeah, those Vultures will actually get cleaned up pretty easily. But if you look at the mini map, the distance between the 3 o'clock base and the main base of Skyhigh is super tiny. So both players really have to be wary of drops here. Skyhigh obviously wary of drops into the main, and Mind's got to be careful about that, about his third base. But he's holding that middle ridge, and he's also holding the central platform thing, like the center expansion, if you will. And now he's moving some more forces over to the left ridge as well. A lot of times in TVC players kind of going for that, when they spawn in these positions, for example, they'll be going for the left side ridge very early, but whoa, looks like we have some Vulture rats coming in here. There's a few Vultures and Wraiths trying to save these SCVs, and it looks like they will save most of the SCVs. Probably only 4, 5, 6 SCV kills there. Not really game changing, but definitely helpful. It's very useful to trade away your Vultures for SCVs. Vultures, as Noni says, they're free and they have a build time of 0. Or maybe it was they have a build time of 0 and they're free. Either way, you get the point. They're very cheap, they make very quickly, and essentially they're just a way of dumping your minerals in TVT, because you really only care about the tanks and the Goliaths and the dropships towards the end. I mean, the Vultures do help, obviously, both players still making a lot of Vultures. But they're just like a mineral dump. Look at this. This is like Vultures dying all over the place, and there's still more Vultures to reinforce. Trading away for SCVs is all good. And looks like continuing to be annoying, but whoa! What the hell is going on here? Looks like Skyhigh has had enough of all this faffing around with Vulture harass. He's like, dude, mind, what the fuck, man? We're not, you know, I'm not fantasy, you're not fantasy. I mean, we can't win OSLs either, but, you know, let's stop with this Vulture nonsense. Let's just go. Let's just attack. Let's get it on. So that's what he tried to do. It got cleaned up, but it looked like he did a decent amount of damage. That third base now has not very many SCVs, and he's still getting position here. This is actually a super annoying position. For what's his face, for Mind. I didn't actually realize you could range that from that position there, because that means that holding that middle ridge doesn't even protect your mineral line, just because siege tanks are so OP. Lol. Anyway, looks like once again getting cleaned up, but losing more SCVs in the process. He's in Valkyrie now. It's a very interesting decision, considering that Skyhigh didn't actually make wraiths. Anyway, meanwhile we have 4th bases going up for each player. One at the 12 o'clock that's conveniently not blocked by that spider mine, and one at the bottom left main for Skyhigh. And we have a big drop going up the left side. There was a spider mine at the bottom left natural though. I don't know if it's been spotted. Looking at the troop movements, it doesn't. Well, there are some vultures heading towards the top left. It might get spotted by this one patrolling vulture. This is going to be very interesting when he sees this 4 vulture drop. Wait, what? Oh my god, he's going back. He's going back to save his siege tanks. Oh, I think that's a mistake. Wait, just go, man. Wait, where is he dropping? What is going on? What on earth was that about? He just like, he had the perfect opportunity. He flew all the way to the top left, and then he comes back. He drops on this ridge. He's like, yeah, I'll totally defend this ridge with my drop. Doom drop the ridge. Whatever. Anyway, oh, nice little vulture harass there, sniping the SCV. That's always a crucial thing. You can send like 5 vultures, and if the only thing you really need to kill is that one SCV building the command center. Meanwhile, so you can see basically what's happened here is the right side of the map is kind of locked down. So even though there's a bit of early aggression there that we saw, you know, essentially if you look at the tank lines now, it's kind of static. On that right ridge by the 3 o'clock base. So essentially all the troop movement and all the attacking is going on the left side where things aren't quite so clear. And not only are there not established positions there yet, but also because the reinforcement route is so long that you have to be very, very careful with your tank positioning and whatnot. And it becomes a lot more interesting because the vultures, the speed vultures get over there a lot more quickly. So when there's a big engagement, you're mainly going to be reinforcing with the vultures all the way over on that side. So it can make it a little bit more dynamic, whereas on the right side we just have tank line versus tank line. Anyway, it looks like +1 versus +2. Ooh, that's going to be a nice little temporary advantage for Mind there. Of course, +2 attack is the crucial upgrade in TVT mech play, which I guess is the only play there is. Basically, siege tanks 2-shot other siege tanks when they have +2 attack. Yeah, it's one of those cool little upgrades like that. It's like +1 for Zealots. It lets them 2-shot circles. Yeah, good times. So anyway, we're getting very close to max now. Both players at about 175 supply, and essentially just splitting the map here. Although, we have a big Doom drop going into the 3 o'clock base. This time he's going to commit. There are a bunch of turrets there, but most of the drop does get down. Unfortunately, though, the Wraiths and Valkyries do clean up all of the drop ships. The tanks doing massive damage here while supported from the low grounds. How much damage will they do exactly? It looks like just taking down everything. There were only vultures here to help defend. No tanks in position now. Oh, he's got a few more tanks in the back. And it looks like he does clear this out. Skyhigh not happy with how that attack went. I think if he had managed to save all the dropships and lost the units, maybe it would have been okay. But having lost all those dropships, he's really limited his own mobility there. The mech army generally, apart from the vultures, the tanks and Goliaths are fairly static, not very mobile units. So the way to make them mobile is essentially just to get a lot of dropships and to fly them around the map. Provide a limo service essentially. But so having that gone, Skyhigh is now gonna, well, you can see it on his face, is not too pleased. However, he is taking 5th base at the bottom left natural rather. While Mind takes his 5th at the top left main. Very, very good stuff. And now it looks like Skyhigh establishing position on this left side ridge to secure the 9 o'clock. And if you think about the way the map is being split, that 9 o'clock base should belong to Skyhigh, but it's quite annoying for him. So, yeah, there's kind of it's kind of two sides of the coin here. So on the one hand, the 3 o'clock base that Minds took as his third is a lot closer to his opponent. So you'd say, okay, that's a little bit harder to take if your opponent's being aggressive and whatnot. It's a bit, you know, it's not so nice for Mind in terms of the early expansion pattern. But now that we've gone to the late game, the expansion pattern kind of helps Mind probably a little bit more, because that 9 o'clock base, it should belong to Skyhigh. He wants to defend that ridge, he wants to claim that base, but it's so far away, it's so hard to reinforce that, you know, if Mind does commit to a big attack on it, he's going to have to spend a while getting all his units over there to defend. It's going to be a little bit more annoying. But it looks like he has actually established position there, so you know, the lines are drawn now. The tank lines of Mind. Mind doesn't seem to look like he wanted to commit to that ridge anyway. He's just happy setting up a tank line further back. And oh, looks like a few tanks poke out a little bit too far here on the left side. A lot of Goliaths now in the composition for Mind. This is what happens. See, earlier on we saw a lot more Vultures, but now he's switched into just massing up those Goliaths, because as I said, they're a lot more robust. Just overall, you know, far superior units to Vultures in terms of straight up engagements. But we do have another Vulture drop going into the bottom left. That dropship, does it have one more Vulture? I'm not sure. It only dropped 3 Vultures, it looks like, but that's going to be enough to do some good damage. Although, well, those SCVs, man, took down that Vulture at the natural. The Vultures at the main are going to hide behind the mineral line. It's going to be a lot more annoying to deal with. Meanwhile, Skyhigh just going to nudge forward with his tanks a little bit here. This Vulture is still alive, but some units, yeah, are going to take care of that. But so the one thing is, even though the outer ring expos on this map are all split evenly now, assuming that no major shifts in the tank lines happen, that center expo is still controlled by Mind. So if this goes on to be some like ridiculous, you know, 3-hour TVT where the entire map is mined out, Mind will eventually be able to start mining from that middle expo and gain the resource advantage over Skyhigh. So for the moment, you know, Skyhigh is still absolutely fine. He's still got that 9 o'clock base that he hasn't even taken yet. You know, his bottom left bases are pretty fresh. So he doesn't really need to think about that too much. But if it does go super late game, that will definitely become an important factor here in this game. And looks like Skyhigh just now taking that 9 o'clock base. So both players have now built command centers at, you know, the 6 expos that belong to them, quote unquote belong to them. And now we just see how the true movements are going to go. This is the time where, you know, you could see some huge Doom drops, maybe some crazy Wraith transitions or Battlecruiser transitions. Essentially, it's very difficult to break at either side of ridges with just ground units. We're going to have to see some like big carpet bomb or something. I'm not sure. I mean, both players are maxed now. It's just up to them on how they want to use these giant armies that they have. I mean, it doesn't look like either player really has that many dropships to go for a big carpet bomb bust. So I'm really not sure what's going to happen here, or how one of these players is going to kind of break the stalemate. It looks like Skyhigh's the one who's just going to go for the attack here, and I'm not sure if that's the best idea. Oh, look at this, Skyhigh actually using that one dropship to drop SEVs at the front to help tank damage. Very, very cute move there, since, you know, at this point he kind of wants to sack some SEVs anyway just to free up Supply Force army. But look at this, tanks coming up into position, and this is why it's just so hard to break these positions, even though he decided where he would attack. You know, the units of Mind were slightly out of position, but not too far away. They could easily come back home and reinforce, and, you know, really not much progress being made here. Although it looks like it does once again open up that annoying little position on the right side there, where he can start sieging down the 3 o'clock expansion. Yeah, see, the observer just showing us that position right now. Doesn't look like Sky has actually sent any units there. But look at this, a physics lab on the science facility for Skyhigh. God damn it, for Mind. Mind is actually ready to transition into battle cruisers here, but I don't see any of his starports actually starting to pump them out yet. The thing is, the battle cruiser transition is extremely expensive, takes an extremely long time. So usually you only go for that when you're in a solid position already in the game, when you're probably slightly ahead at least, and resource-wise you have a lot of money banked and whatnot. Ooh, nice mine there. You don't generally transition into battle cruisers from this kind of situation where you know, it's still actually very, very close. Your opponent, like Skyhigh, actually has a little bit more supply than Mind and a little bit more money banked, so he's in a slightly better position. Except that positionally, of course, Mind does have the control of the center expo as well. So I'm not sure if this is the best time to be transitioning to battlecruisers, but I mean, he's just going to go for it. This is a slight risk, but the thing is, if it pays off hugely. If your opponent's not ready for the battlecruiser switch, well, scratch that. We do have triple armories and like 7 or 8 starports going down at the bottom left for mine, and this is, you know, something that we see quite a bit in the late game TVT. Once you're getting close to max, once you have a lot of money banked, just throw down 1,000,000 starports and do that, you know, late game mass wraith. I think he already got cloaked. We saw the control tower blinking a second ago, so he's gonna have mass cloaked wraiths against these battlecruisers, and that's fairly effective. Although, you know, a lot of times the wraiths, you know, you think they're kind of not exactly the hard counter, but they're very effective against battlecruisers or just against air units in general. But actually the battlecruisers hold their own pretty well, even on just like battlecruiser on wraith action there, because the wraiths are pretty flimsy and the battlecruisers are super duper beefy. So if you upgrade them well, even going mass wraiths, it's not like you shut down battlecruisers instantly. You know, it's not like, I don't know, what's a good example, like in ZBP in StarCraft 2 late game, if you go mass carriers and he just has, you know, 25 corruptors, your carriers just insta die, so you need like 1,000,000 support units. It's not quite the same thing. I mean, wraiths are still pretty cost efficient overall against battlecruisers, but they can still hold their own. Anyway, looks like we actually have some units massing up in the middle here. Not sure what's going on. The one thing that is interesting though is, oh, that is very interesting. A lot of Valkyries added on as well for Skyhigh. But the thing is, what I want to say was both these players now have, what, 6 command centers? Presumably all with comsat stations, and oh, looks like gonna lose a few siege tanks here for free, but he does have Goliath in the back. Yeah, both players now have 6 comsat stations, which essentially means almost unlimited scans. So I find it, I mean, essentially it's very hard to hide tech switches like this, like battlecruisers or wraiths. I mean, even if you put it on kind of a funky location on the map, just because your opponent has so many scans, and because, you know, the game sense of these players is so good that they'll be checking for transitions like this. So essentially, you're not really going to keep the tech hidden for too long, so you have to have a plan. It can't be one of those things where you're just like, well, I hope he doesn't see this, and maybe I can, you know, really catch him off guard with a switch. You know, sometimes that can happen with the battlecruisers if you do it fairly quickly, but for the most part, in this kind of situation, your opponent's really gonna know what's coming. And of course, we did see, you know, this mass wraith Valkyrie thing has already been revealed to mine. But look at this, he's got a lot of battlecruisers now. They do have 1-1, whereas the air units of Skyhigh looks like they also have 1-1. Okay, both players, of course, upgrading their air since they are going mass air now. But whoa, taking a lot of damage from these turrets. What is going on here? Oh my God! Just flying into turret fire there. Skyhigh has to conserve these wraiths to deal with these battlecruisers. That is a lot of BCs coming out. That is a very scary BC fleet. Oh man, but it looks like Mine is having a little bit of indecision about where exactly he wants to go with these. Looks like he's decided to go start breaking down the left side. Of course, that 9 o'clock base, as I said before, that's the newest base of Skyhigh. The one with the most resources, and also the one that's furthest away from his main base and his, you know, his reinforcements. Although now that he's switching to the mass starports at the bottom left, that's a little bit less of a concern, but still definitely something to keep in mind. And are these battlecruisers going to go for it? There's not that many turrets here to support this line. Just all the wraiths and the Valkyries. The Valkyries, of course, won't really do that much to the battlecruisers because of the way that damage works. They do a lot of low damage shots in a volley, so I think the damage from each rocket from a Valkyrie is counted individually. If you mouse over their thing, it says 6 damage per rocket, and battlecruisers start off with like some high base armor. Actually, I don't remember what the base armor of a battlecruiser is. Like, instinctively I feel like it should be 2 or 3, because like carriers, for example, have a base armor of 4, which is ridiculously high. I don't think battlecruisers are quite that good, but anyway, it looks like, wow, killing his own Valkyries, that is not very nice. Oh man, look at that. Because the thing is, I think Skyhigh might have just kind of blindly tried to hard counter a Wraith switch from his opponent, because this kind of mass Wraith switch in the late game is far more common nowadays than the BC switch. Like, I haven't seen a BC switch like this for quite a while, whereas the Wraith switch is like, okay, that happens quite a bit. So getting those Valkyries is kind of counter a Wraith, but the Valkyries don't do anything against the BC, so it's kind of a waste of supply to have so many Valkyries against all these battlecruisers. So instead he's just gone and killed them all to maybe try and make some Wraiths and Goliaths instead. And okay, engineering bay, gonna see everything here. That science missile, by the way, could be quite interesting. Maybe to EMP all the Wraiths, that'd be quite cute. It probably wouldn't really matter though, considering, as I said before, you know, it's essentially infinite level of infinite number of scans here. And here we go. Oh, sniping a couple of these battlecruisers, but loses a few Wraiths in the process. I didn't see it. I thought there might be a defense matrix going down, but look at this, being very cute with the Yamato cannons. Yamato does one-shot the tanks, as you see there, and has an insanely long range. So he's just picking off the tanks from out of range of those the Wraiths and the turrets. And very, very nice move by Mind to try and secure this 3 o'clock base once again. Notice that there's still plenty of minerals there. Just he's been constantly getting attacked at that base. And that 3 o'clock, even though it was his 3rd base, is probably going to get mined out later than his 4th and 5th. And looks like putting siege tanks up there as well. Observer showing us that he's still holding strong at the center platform thing, but a lot of Wraiths coming in for Skyhigh. But the thing is, Skyhigh can't really go in because there's a lot of turrets on the ground as well to support those battlecruisers, but neither player can advance too far. If the battlecruisers advance too far away from the turrets, the Wraiths will pick them apart. And likewise, if the Wraiths fly in there, they will get completely demolished. Looks like instead they're just going to try and find a better position here in the center. Going to pick off some of these siege tanks. The turrets are trying to help out, but there's way too many Wraiths. They are going to pick off all those siege tanks. Very, very nice. But the thing is, look at the money. Look at the resources at the bottom right. There's so many minerals and so much gas banked that, you know, they can reinforce very easily, especially with all those production facilities that they've added. So this is definitely shaping up to be going to a super late game TVT where bases might start getting mined out, where you have to start considering your resource efficiency. And look at that turret wall! Oh my god! It's like Flash style turret wall there. Jesus. Dude, Mind, you're not Flash or Fantasy. You're just Mind. You're just terrible. Okay, that's kind of mean, but you're not OSL winner level, shall we say. Well, looks like, Goliath's moving forward there a little bit. Why are there no siege tanks? There should be siege tanks here. It's a very interesting dynamic between the units in late game TVT. Because, you know, right now we have like the Wraiths versus the battlecruisers, so that's like kind of the cool focus of what's going on here. But really behind that, there's a lot of supporting going on. So as I said, you know, positioning yourself so that the turrets are covering you is very, very important. But also the Goliaths kind of act as mobile turrets. Well, they're actually better than turrets in terms of anti-air damage output, I think. Pretty sure, especially with like +3 upgrades. So they're like the mobile turrets, so you can actually move them forward. So basically, in order to prevent your opponent from like moving his Goliaths forward and supporting, but oh my god, what's going on here? A lot of these battlecruisers getting sniped by the Wraiths. It looks like the scan was really, really late by Mind. That was a huge mistake there. He didn't scan until he lost like 3 battlecruisers. Oh my goodness. Battlecruisers do take it in the end. As I said, they can definitely take the Wraiths heads on if there's detection, but what the heck was that? That was really, really bad. But what was I talking about? Oh yes, the dynamic between the units. Like, you know, you might say that, well, if both players are just going mass air right now, why even bother making any siege tanks? Because they're not going to shoot the air units. But the siege tank, you need at least a couple of siege tanks to kind of keep your opponent honest, not let him advance forward with his Goliaths. And whoa, another snipe going to come in here, and I think he got it. So yeah, the siege tanks keep the Goliaths back. So the Goliaths have to stay away from the siege tanks, which prevents you from advancing forward and covering your air units, essentially. Something like that. That is a lot of starports. And, well, man, look at this Mind, or Skyhigh rather, is being super aggressive with these Wraiths, just really using their mobility to the fullest, poking around here, picking off free units when he can, sniping off free battlecruisers, which is really, really good. Even if he loses a couple of Wraiths every time he does that, I think one battlecruiser costs like roughly 2.5 Wraiths, 3 Wraiths maybe? How much is a battlecruiser? Shit. Quick, Liquipedia! To the Liquipedia mobile! Wikipedia battlecruiser. It's alright. No one's gonna die in the next like 28 minutes, so I can check this out. Alright, according to Wikipedia, they are 400, 300. Okay, I thought that's what they were, but then I was like, wait, am I just getting confused with the Tempest or some shit? Anyway, they're ridiculously expensive. Ah, Shibal! Oh, nice defense matrix. That's what I want to see. That's what I wanted to see earlier from that first vessel. I don't think he did anything with the first vessel. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Is that SCV stuck? That SCV looks stuck. Anyway, so 400, 300 for a battlecruiser. I believe it's 150, 100 for a wraith. So roughly 3 times the cost. Roughly 3 times the cost of a wraith. And oh my god, what is mine doing? What are you doing? No! Saves the last battlecruiser with 1 shot remaining and gets a nice Goliath volley off on the wraiths. But mine, I don't understand what he's thinking here. Wait, did that one die? Why is that one at green health? Anyway, this is actually not very good for mine, because actually look at the resources at the bottom right. You know, Skyhigh is still maxed. Mine is down to 160 supply. He's still got enough banked to re-max. But the thing is, if you look at how Skyhigh is banking so much more money right now, he's got about 5,000 minerals, 2,500 gas. Whereas mine is down to just like 1,000 minerals and 3,000 gas, which is quite curious actually to me that he has so much excess gas rather than minerals. Normally in TVT it's the opposite. I'm not sure why he has so few minerals compared to gas. That's actually really weird. I guess. Oh, I know why. It's because he made like 85 turrets on the map. Huh. That costs a lot of minerals. Actually, if you notice on the map, Skyhigh didn't make nearly as many turrets, because obviously since he has the mobile Wraith Force, he doesn't need to worry about having turrets to defend, because for example, like right now, Mines needs the turrets on the left side because his battlecruiser force and his ground force is actually focused on the right side. So he couldn't really easily defend a big drop on the top left, for example, so he needs the turrets to stop it. Or like a big Wraith attack. Whereas the Wraith Force is so mobile that Skyhigh really doesn't need to do that because he can just fly around instantly. He's like, oh, you're going to drop me here, I'll just send my Wraith Force over and kill it. And oh man, picking off some more siege tanks doesn't quite get that one. Taking a bit of damage from the turrets. Oh no, he wasn't paying attention, he didn't move the Wraiths back far enough. Ah! That's not ideal. But yeah, so Skyhigh's being just so much more cost efficient here. He's trading well Wraiths for battle cruisers, and he didn't have to build all these turrets. So even though Mind has control of the center expo, Skyhigh's being way more cost efficient than he is in the long run. However, the thing is, well, actually, and also if you think about it, right, minerals can get mined out, but in Brood War, if you're a StarCraft 2 player, you know, gas actually gets mined out as well. Like when your best being geysers depleted, your guys can't mine from gas anymore. But in Brood War, you can actually mine from geysers indefinitely, even when they're depleted. A depleted geyser essentially means that your workers return 2 gas per little glob thing that they carry per canister, rather than 8. So all it does is just decrease your gas mining to just a quarter efficiency. But you can keep mining gas forever. So you will never ever run out of gas in the long term. You will only run out of minerals, which is why basically like in endgame PvZs you see Protoss just spamming Archons because they're so gas heavy and you know you're never going to run out of gas. You want to conserve the minerals. So in that sense, since there's so many extra minerals for Skyhigh, with both players getting mined out, it is going to favor him in the long run because he can just keep getting more gas. Whereas Mind, with all his excess gas, there's nothing you can make with only gas in TVT. You know, there's really Protoss has it nice in the late game with their Archons, you know, being so gas heavy and so mineral light. None of the other races really has a nice unit like that to be able to dump that on. But I mean, we're not really quite there yet anyway. There's still a lot of minerals here in the center expo. Both players still mining from their 4th and 5th and 6th bases. So this game could actually still end well before the map is mined out. And boom! Did he just use 2 Yamatos per tank? What the hell? Do you need to? No, you only need 1 Yamato to kill a tank, I'm pretty sure. That's interesting. Anyway, oh, we have a big push now on the left side. This could be a deciding engagement in this game. Unless Mind chickens out and doesn't actually go for it. And by chicken out, I mean, you know, do the correct decision and not actually commit there. As we can see, all the tanks are now in position on the ridge, on the backside of the ridge, and the Wraiths are in position as well. Man, that is a lot of Wraiths coming out here. They're all cloaked now as well. Looks like he's going for it. He's going in. There's the scan. There's the vessel. There's the D-Matrix on the leading battlecruiser. Very nice D-Matrix. But is it going to be enough? Oh my god. Skyhigh is just going for it here. This is not efficient though. No, Skyhigh. He got way too overeager there, way too overconfident. He just engaged there in range of Goliaths and turrets with a defense matrix battlecruiser. I mean, Mind this time was on top of everything, and that went very, very well for him. And suddenly, look at the bank. Skyhigh has just spent all of his bank in like one round of Wraith production. Oh man, like 6,000 minerals is so misleading, because look at that, that's like one round of Wraith production from all those starports. He's actually now down to not that much money banked, considering it is a late game TVT and he's not even close to max anymore. He's dropped to 140 supply. Actually, that one attack might potentially have cost Skyhigh the game. I'm not gonna call it yet by any means, but that was a very, very costly attack for him. But you know, still got a decent force here. He's still holding position on the left side. But the thing is, Mind is already sneakily mining from that center base's gas. I think that's actually another reason, by the way, that he has so much gas, because he's got one extra gas over his opponent from that middle base. I mean, it's not that much. I mean, if you look at the gas differential right now, it's 6,000 gas versus 600 gas. Okay, 7,000 gas now versus 700 gas. So that one geyser, of course, doesn't really account for everything, but it definitely contributes. And meanwhile, I mean, Skyhigh seems to actually be wearing down a little bit. This is actually one big danger of going into the super late game in almost any matchup. In fact, is that you basically at some point in the game you get maxed. You start banking a lot of money, and it's a split match situation, and then you start feeling it's like a psychological thing. It's like you feel like, wow, I have like 6,000 minerals backed. I can just do whatever the hell I want with my army, and it doesn't even matter because I can remax immediately, and it's just totally fine. So you start becoming a lot more aggressive with your army. You start becoming a lot more bold and taking risks that you might normally not if it were like the mid game. Or if you didn't have that amount of money banked, because you just feel a lot safer with that cushion. And then you start making bad decisions, and if you do too many of those, you get to the point in the late game, you're like, oh shit, I just used all my bank, and now I'm not in actually a good position anymore, so what do? And Skyhigh, I think, is finding himself in this position, but he still has a million Wraiths here, but Mind is just rolling down towards his natural. Can Skyhigh hold this off? Looks like he is going to hold position on his own ridge, but look at this, the tank lines have been pushed back. And those Wraiths are just chilling. Look at that, that's like 5 control groups of Wraiths. And looks like he's moving in here, going to engage a few of these turrets. A few lone turrets like that, you can pick them off with your Wraiths when you have so many. Since their air units are stacking up, then you get a very, very high damage density, I want to say. Ooh, that sounds very cool. Can I coin that term? Has anybody ever said that before? Damage density. Or maybe DPS density? I don't know. I'm not even sure what that means. I think it means that air units stack, so they're better than ground units. Yes! We now have a term for this. Awesome. This is part of my E-Fame history. It's going down in history, guys. I invented this shit. Anyway, Skyhigh now pushing towards the middle, but that's going to be very, very difficult, as you can see. Not only is it on the high ground, but you have to go through like a little choke point. So that's not going to happen. But trying to pick off another battlecruiser, very, very difficult. And the thing is, man, doing that 5 control group of Wraith control, to be able to poke in there, snipe battlecruiser and run out, that's like so hard. You gotta use, gotta get all your hotkeys right. And I like how that vessel is, by the way, trailing those battlecruisers. You might be wondering why the vessel keeps starting and stopping. I think it's because he didn't actually hotkey it with anything. He just clicked the vessel and then right-clicked on the battlecruiser, so it's like on auto-follow command. Pretty sure that's what's going on there. Because he doesn't want to group it with the battlecruisers. Because if he groups it with the battlecruisers, right, and he A-moves somewhere, the vessel will lead and will go in too far and could easily get sniped by the Wraiths. So he instead just wants it to be trailing a little bit behind the battlecruisers rather than in front of them. And that's a very good way to do it. That's, by the way, a cool little just mechanical or not really mechanical, I guess, just little. It's a pro tip, guys. If you have trouble with your hotkeys and you end up hotkeying like slow units and fast units, and the fast units keep going in front, like in this case, with the science vessel, just right-click the science vessel onto a battlecruiser and it'll move itself around for you in good position. There's a few other times when you can do that, in fact. a few other useful situations. For example, there's the Kawaii Rice anti-plague trick, where if you get all your units plagued, you just have your medics and you right-click them on a marine so that they move instead of heal, so you don't waste all your medic energy. And whoa, hold that thought, we have a big engagement here. The raid's just going after the battle cruisers. There's a few Goliaths on the ground, more Goliaths coming in, and once again Skyhigh, even though he picks off a lot of battle cruisers, I'm not sure if he traded cost efficiently there, but both players now have actually lost all of their bank. Both players now down to, you know, the sub 1,000 minerals, actually sub 500 minerals in fact, and down to 140 supply. Both players actually running very, very dry on their expansions. Just taking a look here, you know, doing a mineral check. In fact, Mind is down to just the top left base with a few minerals there. It doesn't look like it's even a full base. Plus mining a little bit from the center mineral patches there, as you can see. Whereas Skyhigh, it looks like he might be essentially mined out, in fact. I'm just looking at his money. How high is it going? I don't really see many resources left for him. He's got a couple of minerals left at the 9 o'clock base, but that's essentially it. I think Skyhigh might actually just get mined out here first. And oh, nice defense matrix save on that battlecruiser, but this is it. I think he's got to at least stop this mining of Mind here in the middle. He cannot let Mind get these resources over him. And you know, now this is, you know, I said earlier on in the game that this could eventually happen. Oh shit! Oh shit! That's alright, we have another stream. Oh. Hold on, do we need a stream? Do we need a stream? Are we good? Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Alright. Looks like Skyhigh is still pushing the middle. Skyhigh is still pushing the middle. But look at this, these Yamato cannons. Oh man, and this is one thing. Oh, he's gotta be careful with the glass there. These Yamato cannons, in this late game situation where, you know, you're both getting really, really mined out, you have to be as cost efficient as possible. Yamato lets you be so cost efficient because essentially each Yamato, look, every Yamato hit is a free kill, and the range is so huge that Skyhigh can't do anything. Look, Skyhigh is so pissed off. He's like, Yamato cannon, what do you do? Look, he can't do anything. Look, the Yamato's just giving him free units. It's just giving him free units, and he cannot engage these battle cruisers because they're in position. They got the vessel there, they're over turrets and tanks. Oh my god, I think he's just going to unsiege and go. Oh my god, he's bringing in all the SCVs. He's bringing in all the SCVs. Is he just going to go for an attack? And he's suiciding the SCVs. Here we go, he's going for the bust. This is it, it's all or nothing now. A nice defense matrix on the leading battle cruiser, and it looks like, no, he doesn't actually go, and GG from Skyhigh. Mind takes a ridiculously long TVT. Oh my god. Skyhigh was in a fantastic position, I thought. Started massing those raids. He was doing a good job picking off the battle cruisers, but eventually he just got a little bit cocky, a little bit overconfident. Started trading inefficiently, and Mind eventually managing to starve out his opponents. That was actually a mined out map, guys. They mined out Sniper Ridge. 6 bases apiece, all used up. Just a tiny bit of mining going on in the middle there at the end, but wow. Crazy, crazy TVT. So, Mind evens up the score 1-1 here. And I am quite impressed considering how bad Mind's TVT was last season. Damn. Damn.